There is a rather peculiar sensation that seems to haunt the human mind. A comfortable, foggy sort of delusion that whispers to you, day in and day out, that there is always more time. You see, we have this extraordinary capacity to live our lives as though we're standing at the edge of a limitless ocean, a vast, unmapped expanse of days that stretches out 10,000 years into the future. And because the horizon looks so far away, so mist-covered and gentle, we feel quite safe in delaying the actual business of living. We act, you see, as if we are immortals, not in the biological sense. We know intellectually that the body wears out, that the knees creak and the breath eventually stops, but psychologically, spiritually, we conduct our affairs with the casual arrogance of a being who has 10,000 years to throw away. It is the great procrastination of the soul. Now, consider the way you woke up this morning. Did you wake up with the sudden, sharp realization that this specific inhaling of the air, this specific light hitting the floorboards is the only reality you possess? Or did you wake up already leaning forward? Were you already halfway into the afternoon? Were you already mentally rehearsing conversations that haven't happened, solving problems that haven't arisen, and banking on a future that is, strictly speaking, nothing more than a fantasy inside your skull? You see, the trouble with acting as if you have 10,000 years is that it turns the present moment into a waiting room. It turns your life into a rehearsal. And a rehearsal for what? For a grand performance that is always scheduled for tomorrow. We treat the present moment as if it were an obstacle. It is something we must get through, something we must manage, shuffle, and organize so that we can get to the good part later on. We are always working for a retirement or a weekend or a holiday or a moment of completion where we can finally say, "Ah, now I have arrived. Now I can rest." But the joke, the absolute cosmic humor of the situation, is that when you get to that future, it isn't the future anymore. It's just another now. And because you have spent your entire life training yourself to look ahead, to lean forward, you won't be able to enjoy it. You will immediately start looking for the next thing. To live as if you have 10,000 years is to devalue the only thing you actually have. It is like a man who is so obsessed with saving his money for a magnificent feast that he starves himself to death while his pockets are full of gold. I remember in the quiet moments between the noise of the campaigns and the endless scratching of the Senate's decrees, looking at the candle flickering on my desk. It is a very simple thing, a flame. It dances, it eats the wax, it gives off smoke, and then, quite suddenly, it is gone. It does not bargain, it does not say, "Wait, I have more light to give in an hour." It burns with total intensity right now, or it does not burn at all. We, however, are not like the flame. We are like a hoarder of candles who sits in the darkness, terrified to light a single one because we are saving them for a special occasion. But my dear friends, life is not a special occasion. It is just occasion. It is just happening. It is the wiggly, squirming, unpredictable flow of events, and to hold back, to reserve yourself for a later date, is to miss the entire point of the dance. Why do we do this? Why do we cling to this illusion of the 10,000 years? I think it is because the alternative is terrifying. To admit that you do not have 10,000 years, that you might not even have 10,000 seconds, is to face the utter groundlessness of your existence. It is to admit that you are suspended over an abyss of nothingness, and that the only thing keeping you here is this fragile, momentary pulse of consciousness. If you admit that death hangs over you, not as a grim reaper, not as a skeleton with a scythe, but as the natural, inevitable frame to your picture, then you are forced to be real. You can no longer hide behind the mask of someday. You cannot say, "I will be a good man tomorrow." You cannot say, "I will forgive her next year." You cannot say, "I will study philosophy when I retire." Because the frame is right there. The silence is right behind the noise. When you understand this, really understand it in the marrow of your bones, the urgency doesn't make you frantic. It doesn't make you rush around trying to accomplish things in a panic. Quite the opposite. It quiets you down. It makes you stop. It makes you look at the cup of wine in your hand, or the face of your friend, or the gray sky above the battlefield, and realize that this is it. This is the whole show. There is nothing else coming. If you cannot find the universe in this breath, you will not find it in the next one. So the first step in waking up from this dream of endless time is to see the trick you are playing on yourself. You are holding a carrot in front of your own nose. You are the donkey and the driver. You tell yourself, just a little more work, just a little more struggle, and then I will be happy. But happiness is not a destination you arrive at. It is a manner of traveling. If you are not happy while you are washing the dishes, you will not be happy when you are ruling the empire, because it is the same mind doing both things. It is the same you encountering the world. And if that you is always leaning into the future, always treating the present as a means to an end, you will tear through 10,000 years without ever having lived a single day. Let us look deeper into this fear. What is it that we are actually throwing away? We say we are throwing away time, but you cannot throw away time. Time is not an object. You cannot keep it in a jar. You cannot lose it, and you cannot find it. Time is a measure of change, a way of tracking the rhythm of the universe. What you are throwing away is attention. You are throwing away the capacity to be fully here. When you are lost in your anxieties about what might happen, or your regrets about what did happen, you are absent. You are a ghost haunting your own life. You are walking through the garden, but you do not smell the flowers because you are busy worrying about whether the gardener is going to water them next week. It is a form of madness, really, a socially accepted madness. We applaud people who are forward-thinking, who are planners, who are building for the future. And there is a utility in that, of course. One must plant the seed to get the harvest. But if you are so obsessed with the harvest that you do not enjoy the planting, and you do not enjoy the rain, and you do not enjoy the sun, then when the harvest comes, you will be too busy worrying about the winter to taste the fruit. You must realize that the 10,000 years are a mental construct. They do not exist. There is no tomorrow. Have you ever touched tomorrow? Have you ever seen it? Can you show me a piece of it? No, because whenever you experience anything, it is always now. When tomorrow comes, it will come as now. When you die, you will die now. When the universe ends, it will end now. So if you are saving your best self for a future time, you are saving it for a ghost. You are saving it for a place that can never be visited. This is why I say, live not as if you had 10,000 years to throw away. It is an invitation to drop the burden of the future. It is a command to stop carrying the heavy luggage of what if and maybe and eventually. It is a return to the simplicity of the immediate. Consider the nature of the rock. The rock does not worry about becoming a bigger rock. It does not worry about how long it will last before the wind turns it into sand. It simply is. It sits in the rain. It sits in the sun. It is completely congruent with itself. It is not trying to be somewhere else. Now, you have a mind which makes you more complex than the rock, but it also makes you more confused. Your mind allows you to imagine the 10,000 years, and that imagination is your trap. You use your memory and your foresight to create a timeline, and then you try to live on the timeline instead of living in the world. You try to live in the map instead of the territory, but the map is not the territory. The idea of your life, the story you tell yourself about where you are going and what you will achieve, is not your life. Your life is the sensation of your foot on the ground. It is the sound of my voice. It is the beating of your heart. And this life, this immediate, pulsating reality, is slipping through your fingers every time you drift off into the fantasy of the future. You are throwing it away. You are discarding the diamond of the moment
because you are looking for a synthetic ruby in the distance. We must become fascinated by this. We must not beat ourselves up for it. That is just another form of ego, another way of complicating things. But we must become fascinated by our own tendency to run away. Why do I want to be elsewhere? What is wrong with here? Usually, we find that what is wrong with here is that it feels empty. It feels insufficient. We feel a hole in our chest, a sense of lack, and we think, if I just get that promotion, if I just get that lover, if I just get that recognition, the hole will be filled. So we project a future where we are whole and we run towards it. But the hole is not caused by a lack of achievement. The hole is caused by the running itself. The sense of insufficiency comes from the belief that you need something else to be complete.
And this brings us to the very heart of the illusion. We convince ourselves that we are not yet ready to live fully because we are not yet finished. We treat our souls like a sculpture that is still in the workshop. We say, I have a few more rough edges to sand down. I have to chip away at my anger. I have to polish my wisdom. I have to perfect my discipline. And when I am finally a masterpiece, then I will step out into the sunlight and begin my life. But do you not see? This is the trap. This is the game you are playing to avoid the raw exposure of the present, because there is no such thing as a finished human being. You are not a statue. You are a process. You are a cloud changing shape in the sky. Does a cloud apologize for not being a square? Does a cloud say, "Oh, excuse me, I am a bit wispy on the left side. Give me 10 minutes and I will pull myself together"? No. The cloud is perfect in every moment of its transformation, and so are you. But the ego, that tight, knotted sensation behind your eyes that you call I, despises this. The ego wants duration. The ego wants solidity. The ego wants to be a stone that lasts 10,000 years, not a cloud that dissolves in an hour. And so the ego invents time. It projects this long imaginary timeline and says, look at all this space I have to establish myself. Look at all this time I have to become significant. This is why we cling to the 10,000 years. It is a defense mechanism against our own fluidity. We are terrified that if we do not have a future to aim for, we will simply disappear. We fear that if we stop striving, we will cease to exist. So we create a split in our minds. We divide ourselves into two people. The real self, which is here, now, perhaps a bit tired, perhaps a bit confused, perhaps imperfect. And the ideal self, the one who lives in the future, the one who is calm, wealthy, respected, and wise. And we spend all our energy trying to drag the real self toward the ideal self. We are like a dog chasing its own tail. The faster we run, the faster the tail moves away. Because the ideal self is not real. It is a phantom. It is a projection of your dissatisfaction with the present. When you live as if you have 10,000 years, you are living in service to this phantom. You are sacrificing the flesh and blood of today on the altar of a ghost. You ignore the child tugging at your toga because you are thinking about the legacy you will leave. You ignore the taste of the bread because you are calculating the grain stores for next winter. You ignore the beauty of the sunset because you are worrying about the darkness that comes after. And in doing so, you commit the only true sin against nature. You reject what is given. The Stoics, the teachers of old, they talk often of amor fati, the love of fate. But this is often misunderstood. People think it means resignation. They think it means gritting your teeth and bearing the misery of the world. Oh well, life is hard, I suppose I must love it. No, no, no. That is not love, that is tolerance. To love fate is to realize that the universe makes no mistakes. It is to realize that this moment, exactly as it is, with your backache, with your noisy neighbor, with your uncertain bank account, is the entire cosmos dancing in the only way it can dance right now. To reject it, to wish it were otherwise, To say, "I will love life when it looks like this instead of that," is to argue with the whole of existence. And that is an argument you will always lose. When you stop arguing, when you stop trying to push the river, you suddenly find that you are the river. And the river does not need 10,000 years to reach the ocean. The river is the ocean at every point along its course, because it is all water. Let us go deeper into this fear of death, for that is what 10,000 years really means. It is a code word for forever. We want to be permanent. We look at the statues of the gods, the pyramids, the mountains, and we feel a deep envy of their endurance. We feel small. We feel like sparks that fly up from the fire and vanish in a second. But consider the mountain. It stands for an age, yes, but does it know it stands? Does it feel the sun? Does it taste the rain? It has duration, but it has no awareness. You, my friend, you have the spark. You have the flash of consciousness, and the price of that intensity is brevity. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot have the vivid, burning sensation of being alive and also have the frozen permanence of a stone. The flame burns because it consumes itself. Life lives because it dies. They are two sides of the same coin. You cannot pick up the life side without picking up the death side. To live as if you have 10,000 years is to try to cheat this bargain. It is to try to keep the fuel without burning the flame. And what happens when you do that? You get a cold, dark lump of wax. You get a life that is preserved, perhaps, a life that is safe, a life that is long, but a life that is never truly lit. I have walked through the palaces of Rome, and I have seen men who are dead long before they are buried. They are walking corpses, stuffed full of anxiety and ambition. They are so terrified of losing their lives that they never use them. They are like a man who buys a beautiful coat but refuses to wear it outside because he's afraid the rain might ruin it. So the coat hangs in the closet, perfect and useless, while the man shivers in the cold. Do not be the man shivering in the cold. Wear the coat. Let it get wet. Let it get torn. That is what it is for. This body of yours, this mind, this fragile vessel, it is meant to be used up. It is meant to be spent. You are not here to preserve yourself. You are here to express yourself. You are here to participate in the great unfolding of nature. And nature is not a stagnant pond. It is a rushing torrent. Now, you might ask, Marcus, if I give up this idea of the future, if I stop planning for the 10,000 years, won't I become chaotic? Won't I just sit under a tree and do nothing? This is the great fear of the civilized mind. We think that without the whip of anxiety, we will fall apart. But look at the natural world. Does the apple tree need a plan to grow apples? Does it need a 5-year strategy? Does it sit there worrying, oh my goodness, what if I don't produce enough fruit next season? No, it just grows. It responds to the sun, it draws water from the soil, and the apples come when they come. It happens of itself. There is a wisdom in your own organism that is far deeper than your conscious planning. Your heart beats without a schedule. Your lungs breathe without a to-do list. Your hair grows without a project manager. You are already doing the most complex things imaginable without any effort at all. Why do you think your life is any different? When you let go of the 10,000 years, you do not stop acting. You do not stop working. You do not stop building. But the quality of your action changes completely. You stop acting out of fear, and you start acting out of play. You stop working to survive, and you start working to express. You build the house not because you are terrified of the rain, but because the laying of the bricks delight you. You write the book not to become famous forever, but because the words are bubbling up inside you and they want to come out now. This is the secret of the great artists, the great generals, the great lovers. They are not doing it for the result. They are doing it for the deed itself. They are lost in the music. And when you are lost in the music, you are not counting the bars until the end of the song. You are simply dancing. But we have forgotten how to dance. We are marching. We are marching to a destination that recedes as we approach it. We are marching to a mirage. And all the while, the real world, the world of light and shadow, of pleasure and pain, of bitter and sweet, is waiting for us to stop. It is waiting for us to drop our heavy packs, to step off the road, and to lie down in the grass. It is waiting for us to realize that we have already arrived.
But to realize you have already arrived requires a kind of vision that we have largely forgotten. It requires you to stop seeing yourself as a stranger in the universe. You see, most of us walk around with this very odd sensation that we are something other than the world. We feel that we have been dropped into this life, like a paratrooper landing in hostile territory. We feel that we are these tiny, fragile centers of consciousness trapped inside a bag of skin, peering out at a universe that is vast, alien, and stupid. We think the universe is dead matter, and we are the only ones with the lights on. And because we feel like strangers, we feel we must conquer, we must fortify, we must hoard time and resources because we are under siege. The idea of 10,000 years is essentially a castle we're trying to build to keep the universe out. We think, if I can just secure enough time, if I can just build a legacy, if I can just make a name that echoes down the centuries, then I will have won. I will have defeated the silence. But this is the great hallucination. You are not a stranger here. You are not a puppet that the universe kicked onto the stage. You are the stage. You are the light. You are the wood of the floorboards. You are the audience and the actor. The Stoics call this sympathia, the mutual interdependence of all things. But let us feel it, not just name it. Consider the wave on the ocean. The wave rises up. It has a shape. It has a form. It catches the light. For a moment, it looks distinct. It looks like an individual thing. But is the wave separate from the ocean? Can you take a bucket, scoop up the wave, and carry it home? No. The wave is just a behavior of the water. It is the ocean waving. In the same way, you are not a separate entity walking around on a rock. You are a behavior of the universe. You are the cosmos peopling. You are the way the whole universe looks and feels at this particular intersection of time and space. When you really see this, the fear of time evaporates. Does the wave fear crashing into the shore? Does the wave say, "Oh no, I only have 10 seconds left. I must make myself taller. I must freeze myself so I last for 10,000 years"? No. It crashes, it creates foam, it recedes, and it is still water. It has lost nothing. You, holding on to your 10,000 years, you are a wave trying to freeze itself. You are trying to turn water into ice because you are afraid of movement. But movement is life. Rigidity is death. When you try to hold on to your life, you strangle it. It's like trying to capture the wind in a box. You close the lid and you think, "Ha, I have the wind." But when you open the box, the air is stagnant. The wind is only wind when it is moving. Life is only life when it is flowing. And for it to flow, it must pass away. The moment must die for the next moment to be born. If you had 10,000 years, you would be bored to tears. You would be a skipping record. The beauty of the flower is that it wilts. The beauty of the sunset is that it darkens. The preciousness of your life, the absolute heartbreaking beauty of holding your child's hand or drinking a cup of wine, comes precisely from the fact that it cannot be held. It is slipping away as you touch it. And this slipping away is not a tragedy. It is the very pulse of existence. Why do we resist this so violently? Why do we build these monuments, these empires, these reputations? Why does Marcus sit in his tent writing to himself about virtue and fame? Because the ego is terrified of being forgotten. We think that if we are forgotten, we never hear. We think meaning comes from memory. If I do something good, I want it recorded. If I love someone, I want it to last.
But this is just vanity masquerading as purpose. Look at the sand dunes. The wind blows, the shapes change. The dune that was there yesterday is gone today. Does that mean the dune was meaningless? Does that mean its existence was a failure? No, it was beautiful while it was there, and now it is something else. You must learn to see your life like music. When you play a melody, you do not try to hold on to the notes. You do not try to make the first note last for 10,000 bars. You let it go so the next note can sound. If you hold on to the note, you don't have a melody. You have a screeching noise. You have a siren. Most people's lives are a siren, a long, desperate attempt to sustain a single note of, "I'm here, I matter, don't look away." And the philosophy I'm offering you, the philosophy of the open hand, is the art of letting the note end. It is the art of silence. When you live not as if you had 10,000 years, you stop obsessing over the duration of the note, and you start focusing on the quality of the tone. You stop asking, "How long will I live?" and you start asking, "How deeply can I live? Can I be fully present for this headache? Can I be fully present for this heartbreak? Can I be fully present for this joy?" Because if you can be present for it, you transcend it. You are no longer the victim of time, you are the witness of it. And here is the strange paradox. When you stop trying to extend your time, you actually get more of it, not in hours, but in depth. Have you ever noticed that when you're bored or when you're waiting for something, time stretches out and feels agonizing? But when you're fully engaged, when you're in flow, time seems to vanish. That vanishing is the touch of eternity. Eternity is not a very long time. Eternity is the absence of time. It is the dimension of the now that has no clocks in it. When you stop throwing your life away into the future, you step into that eternity. You step into the timeless realm where the gods reside, and you realize that a short life lived fully awake is superior to a long life lived in a slumber. A single day of a wise man is worth 1,000 years of a fool. Why? Because the wise man is there. The fool is always elsewhere. The fool is always leaning into the next millennium. So how do we practice this? How do we stop the leaning? It begins with the body. The mind is a liar, but the body is honest. Your mind lives in the 10,000 years, but your body lives right here. When you feel the anxiety rising, when you feel the urge to rush, to plan, to secure, stop. Feel your feet. Feel the weight of gravity. Gravity is the earth holding you. It is the earth saying, "I have you. You don't need to hold yourself up." Notice the tension in your shoulders, in your jaw, in your belly. That tension is you trying to hold up the sky. You are trying to carry the weight of a future that hasn't happened yet. Let it drop. Exhale. The sky will stay up without your help. The sun will rise without your permission. The events of tomorrow will unspool exactly as they must, driven by the infinite chain of cause and effect that started at the beginning of time. You cannot control it. You can only meet it. And the best way to meet it is without armor. We think that worrying is a form of armor. We think that if we worry enough about the future, we will be safe. If I anticipate every possible disaster, I will be safe. But this is like trying to prevent a thunderstorm by worrying about lightning. The storm comes anyway. The only difference is that you are wet and miserable. To live without the 10,000 years is to take off the armor. It is to walk out into the field of life naked, vulnerable, open. This sounds terrifying to the ego, but to the spirit, it is the ultimate freedom. Because if you have nothing to defend, you cannot be conquered. If you are not trying to protect a future that doesn't exist, you cannot lose it. If you accept that death is walking beside you, that he is your shadow, then you have nothing left to fear. What can they take from you? Your status? It is smoke. Your wealth? It is dust. Your body? It was never yours to begin with. It belongs to the earth, and the earth will claim it back. When you see this, really see it, you become dangerous. You become powerful, not the power of a tyrant who rules by force, but the power of the sage who rules by yielding. You become like water, soft, yielding, yet capable of wearing down the hardest stone. You become free to play. You become free to love without demanding that love last forever. You become free to create without demanding that your creation be immortal. You become free to simply be, to witness the magnificent, terrifying, hilarious spectacle of existence without needing to control the outcome. And in that letting go, in that surrender of the 10,000 years, you finally find the one thing you were looking for all along.
You find peace. That is the great secret. When you stop fighting the inevitable, when you stop clutching at the hem of eternity, a profound silence settles over the noise of your mind. It is not the silence of the graveyard. It is the silence of the morning before the birds begin to sing. It is a pregnant, vibrant silence. You realize that the 10,000 years you were holding onto were not a treasure chest. They were a heavy sack of stones you were carrying on your back. You were bent double under the weight of a future that you had to secure, a reputation you had to polish, a destiny you had to fulfill. And when you throw it away, when you say, "I have no future, I have only this," you stand up straight. The weight is gone. You are light. You are buoyant. You are like a cork released from the bottom of the river. You pop right up to the surface and float in the sunshine. This is what it means to be an emperor. Not to command legions, not to wear purple, but to command your own attention. To be the sovereign of your own soul. The slave lives in the future, always afraid of the whip, always hoping for the meal. The emperor lives in the now, because he needs nothing. He is complete. And you, my friend, you are complete. You are not a fragment. You are the whole works. So, let us play a final game with this idea. I want you to imagine, right now, that the 10,000 years are gone. Imagine that the doctors have told you, or the gods have whispered to you, that this is it. The sun that sets tonight is the last sun you will see. Feel the panic rising? Good. Watch it. That is just the ego screaming. Let it scream. Now, look past the panic. Look at the room you are sitting in. Look at the light. Look at your hands. Do they not look different? Do they not vibrate with a sudden, intense significance? If this were the last time you ever drank a glass of water, would you gulp it down while checking your messages? Or would you taste the coolness, the wetness, the miracle of the liquid sliding down your throat? You would treat it like the nectar of the gods. Well, I have news for you. It is the nectar of the gods, and this is the last time. Because even if you live for another 50 years, you will never drink this glass of water again. You will never be this age again. You will never have this thought again. Every moment is a farewell. Every moment is a death. And because every moment is a death, every moment is also a birth. The world is being created anew, right now, right in front of your eyes. It is fresh. It is wet with the dew of creation. Why would you want to trade this fresh, living reality for a dusty mental picture of 10,000 years? The universe is a game of hide and seek. It hides in the form of time, pretending to be a long, drawn-out drama. And it seeks itself in the form of awakening, realizing that the drama is a play. You are the universe playing the part of a worried human. You are the cosmos pretending to be afraid of death. But the mask is slipping. You can feel it, can't you? You can feel the laughter bubbling up from the bottom of your belly. The laughter that says, "Oh, I see. I was never in danger. I was never separate. I was just dancing." So, throw it away. Throw away the 10,000 years. Throw away the hope of a better future. Throw away the fear of a worse one. Throw away the timeline. Be here, just here. Be the space in which the thoughts come and go. Be the silence behind the noise. Be the awareness that does not age,
that does not die, that was never born. When you walk out of your door today, walk as if you have already died, and this day is a bonus round. This day is a free gift. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to impress anyone. You are a ghost, a happy ghost, haunting the world with love and curiosity. Smell the air. Look into the eyes of the people you pass. Really look at them. See the fear in them. See the 10,000 years hanging heavy on their shoulders, and offer them a smile. The smile of someone who knows the joke. The smile of someone who has put down the load. There is no time to waste, because there is no time at all. There is only the eternal, shifting, magnificent now. Live in it, dissolve in it, become it. And when the end comes, as it must, let it come not as a thief in the night, but as a lover you have been expecting. Let it find you not waiting for the future, but dancing in the present. The door is open. The cage was never locked. You are free.